My name is John Larsen. I do independent consulting for strategy. I help businesses to grow through transformative new business creation. I've lived in China a total of 9 years and Taiwan 2 years. So building cultural intelligence, I think, is a critical part of succeeding if you're going to do business overseas. Just that attitude of, I'm here to learn from you and not to impose my own way and not to assume that I already know how everything should work. And so I think being very open about, why do you do this, or why is this happening this way, or is this the right way to do things? You know, you go to a dinner and, well, should I be approaching it this way? I think that attitude of learning really helps a lot. And I found that most of the time the people in the other culture are also very receptive to that. They're excited to teach you about their culture and what they're doing. When I worked in China, I would actually tell my team, most of the things that I do here, I need to adapt to you. I'm in your country, you have your customs, your way of doing things, and I need to learn that, so I want you to teach me that. There is one thing that I'm not going to adapt. Your culture in general, you respect the person that's above you and you don't push back, you don't argue with them. I need your feedback, so I want you to push back. And so I actually took a little bit of a mixed approach where I was adapting to them and trying to help them to teach me, but I also told them there were certain things that I did not want to change while I was there. Now that led to an interesting situation where I was negotiating our technology licensing contracts with our joint venture partners while I was there. And one day I was in negotiations, and this contract we had been negotiating for a long time, and they were not accepting our answers, even though I knew that it was completely robust and there was nothing else to argue. As we were in that meeting, I was starting to get frustrated, and the person that works for me said, "Don't worry, John, stop." And I was frustrated. I'm like, no, I'm not going to stop. They need to accept that this is clear and obvious. And he said, don't worry about it. And so I put my pride aside and I didn't say any more. But the very next break, we stepped out of the room, and I said, "Why wouldn't you let me finish?" And he said, "They know that you have answered their question. They fully accept that you've answered their question, but they cannot accept the answer yet because they're not able to agree to the overall contract. So their management team hasn't yet agreed to this program, and until they agree, they need to act like they still have something left open on the table. So leave this on the table. Don't worry about it anymore. Just leave it there, and once their management agrees, then they'll accept this thing." So I had to learn from him the way they were negotiating to be able to adapt to that and to decrease my stress level so that it didn't drive me crazy that they wouldn't agree to something that I had obviously answered. I did see many expats that would come to China, and as they started to work with the local teams, then they would assert their authority, and because they would want to feel like, yes, I'm the one in charge here. And then they would often point out funny things that they would see in the Chinese culture, and they would laugh at some of those things. And the Chinese people would be very accepting of them and kind and respectful to them, but there would still be a distance between them. And it was not a come and let's do this together. It was always a gap between them in terms of how they operate the business. And because of that, if they encountered any issues or challenges, then there wasn't a healthy relationship that their employees would go to them and help to work it out. And so I think it's in a respectful culture, like the Chinese culture, they will still work with them, but it won't be nearly as effective as if they would accept it and embrace it and strive to learn from it. When you go to another country, you should be almost like a child there. That you should be curious and ask for advice and ask for feedback from people. Ask them to tell you if you're doing something wrong, and that will really help you to adapt and learn what they have to offer.
Thanks for watching that video. For more information on international business, go to internationalhub.org.